In an era characterized by unprecedented challenges such as climate change, mass migration, economic inequality, and governance crises, the call for a new socio-political paradigm is becoming increasingly resounding. Democratic socialism, with its emphasis on solidarity, unity, equality, and human rights, emerges as a potent alternative that is poised to shape the future of societies worldwide. As the status quo becomes untenable for the vast majority of humanity, the inevitability of democratic socialism becomes evident. This video explores the factors driving this paradigm shift and examines democratic socialism as a compelling alternative for a world in desperate need of change. But first, what is democratic socialism? Democratic socialism is a socio-political paradigm that combines the principles of democracy with a commitment to social and economic justice. Contrary to the misconceptions perpetuated by some on the alt-right and hard-right, democratic socialism is not a taboo bogeyman but rather a pragmatic and inclusive approach to governance. At its core, democratic socialism seeks to address pressing issues such as climate change, migration, government failures, and economic inequality through a blend of participatory democracy, social safety nets, and progressive policies including government ownership of key strategic and security sectors. It advocates for a balance between individual liberties and collective responsibility, fostering solidarity, equality, and human rights. Far from being an extreme ideology, democratic socialism represents a middle ground that acknowledges the shortcomings of both unbridled capitalism and authoritarian socialism, aiming to create societies where the well-being of all citizens is prioritized without sacrificing individual freedoms. It is a forward-looking and adaptable framework that responds to the evolving needs of contemporary societies, offering a viable alternative for those seeking a more just and compassionate world. The escalating climate crisis has laid bare the inadequacies of current economic systems that prioritize profit over sustainability. Democratic socialism, with its commitment to environmental justice and collective responsibility, offers a viable path to address climate change through policies that prioritize renewable energy, sustainable development, and international cooperation. The climate crisis stands as one of the most pressing challenges of our time, demanding urgent and comprehensive action to mitigate its devastating impacts. Democratic socialism, with its emphasis on collective responsibility and sustainable policies, emerges as a potent force in addressing the climate crisis. We'll explore the intersection of democratic socialism and climate justice, elucidating how the principles of this socio-political paradigm offer a viable path towards a sustainable and resilient future. Democratic socialism posits that the well-being of society is a collective responsibility. In the context of the climate crisis, this translates into a shared commitment to mitigating environmental degradation. Unlike laissez-faire economic systems that prioritize individual interests, democratic socialism recognizes the need for collective efforts to address the root causes of climate change. At the heart of democratic socialism lies a commitment to sustainable development. This involves a departure from resource-intensive and environmentally harmful practices, prioritizing policies that promote renewable energy, conservation, and eco-friendly technologies. By integrating sustainability into economic planning, democratic socialism aligns economic progress with ecological well-being. The global nature of the climate crisis necessitates international cooperation. Democratic socialism, with its emphasis on solidarity and unity, encourages collaboration among nations to tackle climate change collectively. This stands in stark contrast to isolationist approaches, recognizing that the health of the planet is a shared responsibility that transcends borders. Democratic socialism places a strong emphasis on environmental justice, ensuring that the burdens and benefits of environmental policies are equitably distributed. This is particularly crucial as vulnerable communities often bear the brunt of environmental degradation. Through policies that prioritize equitable access to clean air, water, and green spaces, democratic socialism aims to rectify historical environmental injustices. Democratic socialism recognizes the need for robust regulations to hold corporations accountable for their environmental impact. By imposing stringent environmental standards and promoting corporate responsibility, this paradigm seeks to prevent unchecked exploitation of natural resources and the externalization of environmental costs onto society. A cornerstone of democratic socialism's approach to climate justice is the transition to renewable energy sources. By investing in and incentivizing clean energy technologies, this paradigm seeks to reduce dependence on fossil fuels, decrease greenhouse gas emissions, and create a sustainable energy infrastructure that benefits both people and the planet. The climate crisis serves as a litmus test for the effectiveness of socio-political paradigms in addressing global challenges. Democratic socialism emerges as a compelling framework for climate justice, offering a path that aligns human well-being with ecological sustainability. Through its emphasis on collective responsibility, sustainable development, international cooperation, and environmental justice, democratic socialism provides a comprehensive approach to combating the climate crisis. As the world grapples with the imperative of climate action, embracing the principles of democratic socialism may prove instrumental in forging a future that is not only environmentally sustainable but also socially just and equitable. Global migration patterns, driven by economic disparities, conflict, and climate-induced displacement, underscore the interconnectedness of our world. Democratic socialism recognizes the importance of human dignity and social justice, advocating for inclusive policies that address the root causes of migration and promote international cooperation for the benefit of all. Migration dynamics, characterized by the movement of people across borders driven by a myriad of factors, present a complex and interconnected global challenge. Democratic socialism, with its commitment to solidarity, equality, and human rights, offers a compelling framework for addressing the imperatives of just migration dynamics. Next, we'll explore the intersection of democratic socialism and migration, examining how the principles of this socio-political paradigm provide a foundation for humane and inclusive policies in the face of contemporary migration challenges. Global economic disparities and exploitation often serve as primary drivers of migration. Democratic socialism acknowledges the importance of economic justice and endeavors to address the root causes of migration by promoting fair trade, just labor practices, and policies that mitigate economic inequalities both within and between nations. Conflict and insecurity force millions to flee their homes, seeking safety and stability elsewhere. Democratic socialism, with its emphasis on peace building and diplomacy, aims to address the root causes of conflict, advocating for international cooperation to prevent violence and displacement. Additionally, it promotes inclusive refugee and asylum policies that uphold the dignity and rights of those seeking refuge. As the climate crisis intensifies, environmental factors contribute to migration patterns. Democratic socialism, with its commitment to environmental justice, recognizes the need to address climate-induced displacement. Policies that support sustainable development, climate resilience, and international cooperation are essential components of a democratic socialist approach to mitigating the impact of climate change on migration. Democratic socialism places a strong emphasis on human dignity and inclusivity. In the context of migration, this translates into policies that respect the rights and dignity of migrants, regardless of their status. A democratic socialist framework promotes inclusive societies that view migration as a natural aspect of human existence and an opportunity for cultural enrichment. Migration is a global phenomenon that demands international cooperation. Democratic socialism fosters diplomatic relations and collaborative efforts between nations to address the root causes of migration, ensuring that policies are comprehensive, just, and considerate of the interconnectedness of the global community. Democratic socialism encourages community engagement and local empowerment. In the context of migration, this involves fostering inclusive communities that actively engage with newcomers, recognizing the contributions and strengths that migrants bring to society. Policies promoting cultural exchange and integration are integral to a democratic socialist approach to migration. The imperatives of just migration dynamics find resonance in the principles of democratic socialism. As the world grapples with the complexities of migration driven by economic disparities, conflict, and environmental challenges, a democratic socialist framework offers a compassionate and comprehensive approach. By addressing the root causes of migration, upholding human dignity, fostering international cooperation, and promoting inclusive communities, democratic socialism emerges as a paradigm that not only responds to the challenges of migration but also envisions a world where the movement of people is guided by principles of justice, equality, and solidarity. The erosion of trust in traditional forms of governance has created a demand for systems that are more responsive and accountable. Democratic socialism, with its emphasis on participatory democracy and community engagement, provides a model that seeks to empower citizens and ensure that governance serves the common good rather than narrow interests. The failures of traditional forms of governance in addressing key societal issues have become increasingly evident, necessitating a re-evaluation of the socio-political paradigms that underpin our societies. Democratic socialism, with its emphasis on participatory democracy, social justice, and collective well-being, offers a robust alternative to confront the myriad challenges stemming from government failures. This section explores the intersections of democratic socialism with critical issues such as the cost of living crisis, affordable housing crisis, gun violence, systemic racism, and the lack of affordable healthcare. The cost of living crisis, marked by the increasing burden of basic necessities on individuals and families, highlights a profound failure in governance. Democratic socialism addresses this issue by advocating for policies that ensure a living wage, progressive taxation, and a robust social safety net. By prioritizing economic equality, democratic socialism seeks to alleviate the financial strain on ordinary citizens and create a more just and inclusive society. The shortage of affordable housing is a pressing issue in many societies. Democratic socialism approaches this challenge by championing policies that prioritize housing as a human right. Through initiatives such as social housing programs, rent controls, and community land trusts, democratic socialism aims to create accessible and sustainable housing options for all, mitigating the effects of the affordable housing crisis. The pervasive issue of gun violence requires comprehensive governance that addresses the root causes of this societal challenge. Democratic socialism, while respecting the rights of individuals, seeks to implement common-sense gun control measures, invest in mental health services, and address socio-economic factors contributing to violence. By promoting policies that prioritize public safety, democratic socialism aims to create a society where individuals can live free from the fear of gun violence. Systemic racism persists as a deep-seated issue that demands a transformative approach to governance. Democratic socialism recognizes the need for systemic change and addresses racial inequities through policies that promote social and economic justice. By dismantling discriminatory structures and implementing inclusive policies, democratic socialism endeavors to create a society where racial equity is not just an aspiration but a reality. Access to affordable healthcare remains a critical concern, underscoring governmental shortcomings. Democratic socialism advocates for a universal healthcare system, ensuring that quality medical care is a fundamental right rather than a privilege. By removing profit motives from healthcare, democratic socialism strives to create a system that prioritizes public health, reduces disparities, and guarantees access to medical services for all citizens. The imperatives of democratic socialism align with the urgent need to address the failures of traditional governance in various domains. From the cost of living crisis to affordable housing, gun violence, systemic racism, and lack of affordable healthcare, democratic socialism offers a comprehensive and compassionate approach. By prioritizing social justice, participatory democracy, and collective well-being, democratic socialism represents a paradigm shift that responds to the multifaceted challenges of our time. As societies grapple with the limitations of existing governance structures, democratic socialism emerges as a viable alternative, providing a roadmap for building more equitable, inclusive, and just societies. National security extends beyond traditional military concerns to encompass a spectrum of issues crucial for the well-being and stability of nations. In the face of challenges such as inadequate transportation systems, electrical grid issues, and other factors impacting the security of nations, democratic socialism offers a holistic approach that prioritizes the collective well-being and resilience of societies. This chapter explores the intersections of democratic socialism with key issues related to national security, emphasizing the need for comprehensive policies to address vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure. In many nations, inadequate transportation systems contribute to economic inefficiencies and pose risks to national security. Democratic socialism recognizes the importance of reliable and efficient transportation networks. By prioritizing investments in public transportation, sustainable infrastructure, and smart urban planning, democratic socialism aims to enhance the resilience of transportation systems, reduce traffic congestion, and bolster economic productivity. The vulnerability of electrical grids is a significant concern for national security, with potential implications for both economic stability and public safety. Democratic socialism advocates for a transition to sustainable energy sources, investing in a decentralized and resilient energy infrastructure. By prioritizing renewable energy and smart grid technologies, democratic socialism seeks to mitigate the risks associated with electrical grid issues, ensuring the reliability and security of energy systems. Democratic socialism recognizes that access to clean water and sufficient food is fundamental to national security. Policies that promote sustainable agricultural practices, water conservation, and equitable distribution of resources contribute to long-term stability. By addressing the root causes of food and water insecurity, democratic socialism strengthens the resilience of nations and reduces the potential for conflict over scarce resources. A well-educated and informed populace is a cornerstone of national security. Democratic socialism prioritizes investments in education, research, and innovation. By fostering a society that values critical thinking and knowledge, democratic socialism contributes to the development of a skilled workforce, technological advancements, and a robust intellectual infrastructure that enhances national security. The health of a nation's population is integral to its security. Democratic socialism advocates for a robust and accessible healthcare system, emphasizing preventive care and public health initiatives. By ensuring that all citizens have access to quality healthcare, democratic socialism contributes to a healthier and more resilient population, reducing the strain on healthcare infrastructure during crises. Democratic socialism offers a comprehensive approach to national security that goes beyond traditional military considerations. By addressing issues such as inadequate transportation systems, electrical grid vulnerabilities, water and food security, education, and healthcare infrastructure, democratic socialism seeks to build resilient societies capable of withstanding multifaceted challenges. As nations grapple with the complexities of the modern world, democratic socialism emerges as a paradigm that aligns security with the well-being of citizens, fostering a more stable, sustainable, and inclusive future. Widening economic disparities have fueled social unrest and highlighted the need for economic systems that prioritize equity. Democratic socialism seeks to address this by advocating for progressive taxation, social safety nets, and worker empowerment, fostering an economic environment where wealth is more evenly distributed. Economic inequality remains a persistent challenge that has far-reaching implications for societies worldwide. Democratic socialism, as a socio-political paradigm, presents a comprehensive approach to address and manage economic inequality. The core principles of democratic socialism is how it provides effective mechanisms for reducing disparities, fostering a more equitable distribution of wealth, and creating a society where economic well-being is not concentrated among the few but shared by the many. Democratic socialism advocates for progressive taxation as a key tool to reduce economic inequality. By imposing higher tax rates on the wealthy and redistributing resources through social programs, this approach ensures that the burden of taxation is proportionate to one's ability to pay. This fosters a more equitable distribution of resources and helps finance social services that benefit the broader population. A central tenet of democratic socialism is the establishment of robust social safety nets. Comprehensive welfare programs, universal health care, and accessible education are integral components that aim to uplift the most vulnerable members of society. By providing a safety net, democratic socialism mitigates the impact of economic downturns and ensures that individuals and families have a baseline level of support. Democratic socialism places a strong emphasis on workers' rights and empowerment. Through policies such as strong labor unions, collective bargaining, and fair wages, democratic socialism seeks to rectify power imbalances in the workplace. Empowering workers ensures that the benefits of economic growth are shared more equitably, reducing the gap between the wealthy elite and the working class. A distinguishing feature of democratic socialism is its approach to ownership and control of key industries. By advocating for worker cooperatives, community-owned enterprises, and public ownership of essential services, democratic socialism aims to democratize economic decision-making. This not only addresses disparities in wealth but also ensures a more equitable distribution of the benefits generated by economic activity. To combat economic inequality, democratic socialism recognizes the importance of education and skill development. By investing in accessible and high-quality education, especially in vocational and technical fields, democratic socialism seeks to provide individuals with the tools to participate meaningfully in the economy. This approach contributes to a more level playing field and reduces disparities in opportunities for success. Democratic socialism's focus on managing economic inequality yields several benefits for society. By implementing policies that address the root causes of wealth disparities, this paradigm promotes social cohesion, reduces poverty rates, and fosters a sense of shared responsibility. A more equitable distribution of resources contributes to economic stability, enhances social mobility, and builds a foundation for sustainable long-term growth. Democratic socialism provides a compelling framework for managing economic inequality by addressing its root causes and implementing policies that prioritize social and economic justice. Through progressive taxation, robust social safety nets, workers' rights and empowerment, ownership and control reforms, and investments in education, democratic socialism aims to create societies where economic opportunities are accessible to all. Far from being an impractical or radical ideology, democratic socialism emerges as a pragmatic and effective approach to building more equitable and inclusive economies. As societies grapple with the inadequacies of existing systems, the question arises: what real alternative is there? Democratic socialism, with its focus on creating a more just and equitable society, emerges as the compelling answer. Unlike other ideologies, it offers a middle ground that combines the benefits of market economies with the imperative of social responsibility. Democratic socialism promotes solidarity among diverse communities, fostering unity in the face of global challenges. By emphasizing the common good and shared responsibility, it provides a framework for overcoming divisions and building inclusive societies that can effectively address complex issues. At its core, democratic socialism seeks to eradicate systemic inequalities and ensure the protection of fundamental human rights. By prioritizing social and economic justice, it offers a blueprint for societies to move beyond mere tolerance to embrace genuine equality, fostering an environment where every individual can thrive. One of the strengths of democratic socialism lies in its commitment to participatory democracy. By involving citizens in decision-making processes, it ensures that governance is responsive to the needs and aspirations of the people, strengthening the social contract between the state and its citizens. In conclusion, the inevitability of democratic socialism as a global socio-political paradigm is evident in the face of contemporary challenges. As societies navigate the complexities of climate change, migration, governance failures, and economic inequality, the need for a new path towards solidarity, unity, equality, and human rights becomes increasingly apparent. Democratic socialism offers a real alternative, a second path that resonates with the aspirations of the vast majority of humanity. It is a vision of a future where the inherent dignity and rights of every individual are not just recognized but actively protected, creating a world that is not only sustainable but also just and inclusive. As societies adapt to the changing landscape of the 21st century, democratic socialism emerges as a beacon of hope and a pragmatic solution for a world in search of a more equitable and compassionate future. Thank you for watching. This video is part of my channel and series known as Renaissance Spirit. More than just a philosophy or style, but a style for living, learning, growing and thinking. My collection of videos encompasses everything from human equality, environmental justice, as well as the sciences and liberal arts. Take the quiz next to see if you're a Renaissance spirit and a democratic socialist.